Hi there, welcome back for another improvisation with piano purpose piece. Today, rather than focusing on a rhythm pattern, I thought we would explore some pitches and some notes. We're going to explore that through the music of the Manding people, who are another people of West Africa. I really hope that you enjoy this little pattern. There are many more patterns with the music of the Manding, but this one is particularly beautiful. I think you'll really enjoy it. So when we're talking about the pitches in this particular pattern, we're going to oscillate between two bass notes. We're going to use D as our first one, and the second one, we're going to walk up 4 notes from that. 1, 2, 3, 4, to our subdominant, which is G. Now, this is nothing unusual. In lots of different music from cultures around the world, we have a tonic to subdominant relationship. For example, in blues, if you're playing a 12-bar blues, the first 4 bars are usually in 1 in your tonic. And then we're going to move up to the subdominant for 2 bars. So that sounds pretty familiar to most people's ears. The difference between that and how the Manding are going to use those 2 different pitches is that usually when we hear a tonic to subdominant relationship, we're going to keep the scale, which our melody is built off of, in the same. So, for example, this is a D minor scale. And let's say I'm using a Alberti bass pattern, something like what Mozart would use. And then maybe I will go up to subdominant for a little bit and then go back to dominant. It'll end up sounding like this. So some of you would recognize that melody from Mozart's Le Nozze di Figaro. That entire melody is written within the D natural minor scale, which sounds like Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do, Ti, La, Sol, Fa, Mi, Re, Do. Now, notice that in the Manding culture, rather than using the same scale, we're actually going to use different modes over these 2 different bass notes. So let's say I have D as my bass. Here's a D minor chord. Over that, I'm going to play actually a D Dorian scale, which sounds like this. Notice that the 6th note of the scale has been raised in comparison to the natural minor. Now when we move to the bass in the G, there's a G minor chord. Rather than using that same D minor scale, we can switch that with the Phrygian mode. This is one of my favorite modes because of this half step between the first 2 notes. It really gives this particular scale a very mysterious sound that is so lovely. Now you'll notice with the Phrygian scale that we use an E flat and a B flat. Notice that this no longer matches the key signature of D minor. Rather, it actually belongs to G minor. So if I play a G minor scale, it sounds like this. Using the B flat and the E flat. Now if I play that exact same scale, but I start on the D, this is what I get. Phrygian. Beautiful, isn't it? So we're actually going to switch between those different scales, and those different scales, although they both begin on D as their scale degree 1, they're technically using totally different key signatures. So you're not necessarily hearing the subdominant as being a decoration of the tonic in this particular case. It works in a completely different way from how we usually think in a tonal way of listening. So I'm going to attempt to give us a little improvisation that sounds Manding-like. I hope you enjoy it.